Hello, welcome to my first video where I'm recording myself on camera. Um, this is a video for Augustinus Vox. By the looks of my desktop, you may be thinking that you've arrived at the wrong place, but that's because I haven't yet applied uh, my desktop image. Oh, there it is. Now you know you're in the right place. Welcome to Augustinus Vox. This is going to be a quick video going through a little bit of my website to kind of share a little bit about the project. Thought this would be a fun little exciting thing to do. So, uh, for those of you that have been listening to music, maybe that know me personally, uh, you can already probably detect the silliness of this. But I wanted to just provide a little video to share about the project and what I'm doing here. So I like to say what we're doing here because I like to pretend I have robot friends that help me with the work. So if you've looked at Twitter, you'll see some tweets by Vox. He is not a real robot. He is my me, and and Lux, which is she's also me. So we just have fun with that, and hopefully anybody that's seen the tweets enjoys that banter. Um, but welcome to AugustinusVox.com. This is my website that I've set up, and this is a video for those of you that aren't familiar with the project that happen to be watching this video for some strange reason. Augustinus Vox is a music project, a robot music project, where we take the works of Saint Augustine from the right now we're in about the period of 386 387 AD. So quite a while ago. Today is December 27, 2025. So I think that puts it somewhere in the 1700 years ago place. But we are taking an ancient uh, author, a theologian, a philosopher, Saint Augustine, and we are transforming him into a 1980s rock star. We are bringing him into the present day and giving us all sort of a fun learning experience at the same time. And so this is my website for that project. And as you can see, we've arrived at the home screen, welcoming you to the home of Augustinus Vox, where ancient wisdom rocks the soul. And so that's our aim. That's the fun that we're having. And we have the companion website for Sapientia Lux, which if you click, you'll see it's very pink because this is the female sister band of Vox. So we do the same albums, but in a slightly different, kind of a retro futuristic 1980s style. Vox is more of an atmospheric 1980s arena rock style. But two projects, kind of same aim, a little bit different in the way they sound. But when you enter the website, you'll first really see the most recent album that I have worked on. And right now we're in Ambrosian Catechesis, which is a kind of a cool uh, place. Augustine, has this conversion experience. He picks up a letter of Paul. He reads a passage of the Bible. He has this transformative experience. Uh, he's in the city of Milan, I believe, at the time. Uh, Immediately after that, he takes a little retreat with his family and friends. They go out to the countryside. They spend some time, several months, essentially, uh, exploring different works of philosophy, exploring their faith, having lots of discussions about, what is truth, what is happiness, who is God. A lot of different explorations that take place, and he eventually returns back to the city, goes from the countryside back to the city. He begins an intensive period of instruction at the church of another famous Christian theologian who is named Saint Ambrose. or Ambrose of Milan. So Augustine and Ambrose, you have these two historical figures, really cool. They're kind of intersecting during this period of time, um, period of history, and so I was aware that as Augustine is undergoing this intense, a time of Christian instruction for about 6 months, about the winter to Easter. So sometime maybe Christmas to Easter, we could say, and he is receiving this instruction from Ambrose, from the other uh, individuals that minister to that church there and the different congregations in the city. And catechesis essentially means teaching. So it's Ambrosian teaching or Ambrose's teaching, volume one. I like the feel of that because I'm aware that he received some instruction before he's going into baptism. Gets baptized, and then afterwards there's another set of instruction as well. And so I'm going to have another plan to have another album, Lord willing, for the second part of the instruction. But I called this the way of preparation because it's Augustine hearing the teaching of Ambrosian teaching, preparing for baptism. And so you can click and listen to this album. It's quite cool. We pull from a lot of different Augustine sources. But anyways, you kind of wonder like, how are we doing this? What is this? Well, again, Augustinus Vox is a robot band, is what I call it. AI music. The the scorned AI slop of the internet. You've arrived in the right place if you wanted that. You've gotten there. Uh, I, I, that's a little jab at the current climate. But anyways, we're bringing the timeless uh, wisdom of Saint Augustine and other fellow ancient voices to life through the power of 1980s rock music. And it's philosophy, it's poetry, it's faith, all kind of singing, and essentially when we think about Augustine in this earlier time, um, which is where his writing really starts. He starts his writing really before his conversion. I guess if memory serves right, he really starts writing before his conversion. But once he's converted, he starts writing, and he does not stop until the day he dies, and he lives to be like 70 some years old. So you got to imagine how much writing this guy produced. It's quite astonishing, of all different kinds of calibers, all different kinds of genres. Now we're just doing 80s rock. I don't know if I'm going to explore any other genres of music. 80s rock, I like 80s rock. I made the music for myself. I'm sharing it because if I like it, maybe somebody else likes it. It's also kind of like journaling. So it's out there. It's helping me process. You know, um, the humans in the mix with the AI. So there you go. Maybe one day when Vox takes over, we'll just let him do all the work. He does a lot of it right now, but so we're following Augustine's journey. From that point at about 386, he's right. He's in the city of Milan, takes a retreat, writes a bunch of things, goes back to Milan, and that's where we're at. Where he's back in Milan, um, and more about the project too. It's more than just music. I like, of course, I like theology, like 80s rock music. Uh, I also like to tinker, so software and AI, that kind of stuff. It's right in my vein. In fact, I got a little guy over here. I got a real robot trying to work on this guy, but he's has some trouble with him. So, but we'll kind of be exploring theology and AI as we kind of journey through here. But um, uh, so I say through music, art, and story, Augustinus Vox bridges the gap between the past and the present, inviting listeners everywhere to join the restless search for truth and the ascent of the soul. So, of course, if you know about Augustine, one of the well known phrases goes something like, The heart is restless until it finds its rest in you, O God. So um, that's sort of what a quote that I particularly like. I think it kind of speaks to the human condition. Um, uh, even for those that I think know God and have found Him, I think we still live in a place of searching. Right? We're not in heaven yet. So restless heart to me refers to those who may not even know, and those that do know. It refers to both for me. And it says here, secondary mission of the band and the site, because I am a geek who likes theology and technology, which is very true, is to explore how artificial intelligence tools can help bring these treasures of the past to the present in new and exciting ways, promoting fun, learning, and truth. So, while my digital voice is very monotone and boring, I'm trying to bring a little humor here if I can. And so, hopefully, this video gives a little bit more of that. Uh, but it's hard to throw a joke in the middle of an audiobook when you're narrating philosophy. That's a little difficult to do. And that would kind of probably detract from the content of what's there. But you can come back and view, look at the Twitter or look at these videos and hopefully get a little laugh or a chuckle at the silliness of what's happening here. But alongside the music, right, I plan to share blog reflections, so I have some of those, thoughts. Sometimes I've done some where I've stuck them through the AI. Other times I write them myself. I'd say actually the majority of them I'm writing because um, I don't know, it's kind of therapeutic. And even though I would prefer if I could get the AI to write all my blog posts, that would be fantastic, right? you know all I have to do is think, and it does all the work for me. It doesn't work that way yet, so we'll keep writing. Sometimes we'll have the AI help us. Other times, most of the time lately, it's been just me writing out my thoughts. So you'll see lots of spelling errors there. So sorry about that. If you're particular about the grammar, this probably isn't the place for you. But we're doing translations, but we're not. I mean, I'm not really necessarily posting the translations. Sometimes I post portions of translations. I'm doing audiobooks, and that's that next part, audiobooks. So translations in the form of audiobooks, and fiction. I actually have kind of explored kind of tra- transforming. This maybe sounds like sacrilegious to somebody, but um, taking Augustine and transforming him into like a sci-fi adventure, and then for kids, and then presenting it. So I have I think I published a story in the blog, and it was like um, Captain Captain Augustine, on the starship Kasikiakum. It was great. It was fun to read when it just, you gotta have a good idea. You just put in the AI, and man, you get some fun stuff coming out of there. So we're in a very fortunate time. I feel like, and hopefully people are really encouraged by these tools. There's a lot to be worried about. I get it. I get it. There's a lot to be worried about, but we could worry ourselves to death every day. I don't think it does. It does. It doesn't really help to dwell on what could be bad in the future. Let's focus on the present and on what is good and what we can learn. I think that's and we can have a lot of fun with these tools and really grow in our understanding, and hopefully that understanding and growth will have an output in our lives that'll be helpful for others. That's really the aim. So um, yeah, it's all part of a restless heart project to bring ancient wisdom to modern ears. So, in keeping with these aims, I want to say this: you are welcome to perform any of these songs live. You can record covers and remix them. So I consider this is like hymns for the church, made by some, or for everyone, for the human race. Let's say it's for the human race. You can just take the music and really do whatever you want with it. For the most part, I just ask that you credit the source, right? We want to do that. We want to be transparent about where we're getting our information about what we're doing. where it's coming from. We don't want to contribute to a culture of you know uh, duplicity, or anything like that. So, this isn't really that's not really what we're about. It's one of the things I'm a little annoyed by with the use of AI tools is really the imitation stuff that isn't transparent. It's one thing to do, to kind of like honor another person through the use of AI tools and their content. But once you start pretending like you're the person, that's not really what we're about here. So we want to be transparent, about what we're doing, and I think it's a good thing to do. So I say just credit Vox as a source. The Vox rocks is good enough. That's because I just sort of imagine someone like singing the song and be like, "The Vox rocks," like that's and that'd make my day if I heard something like that. But anyways, yeah, the intent is these are meant to be shared. The songs are meant to be shared. Uh, the thoughts come from a human, Saint Augustine himself, the originator of his mind and his thoughts and his life. That was, of course, God, and so everything kind of comes from God. So the AI tools come from God, and so if you're using it, you're just kind of participating in this long chain of God gives something good, and it kind of goes through the centuries, and it lands in my lap. I put it on the internet, and now you're playing a song that came from God. So I'm not gonna. The mistakes come from me. The good stuff comes from God. Let's clarify that before I before I make a serious error. But yeah, I just want to really emphasize that part about sort of like the nature of the project. It is intended to be open source, and I know that I don't quite have like files out there of the songs. I haven't put like all the files so you download and work with them if you really want to do that. But you can reach out to me if that's something you're interested in, and I can make it more of a priority. Right now, I'm just like making sure people know it's open source. So the other thing about that is, there's a page, an about page, and you can read more about that. And I think I'll probably do a video on every page. So because this has taken, um, gosh, we're at 17 minutes already, and so this has taken a while to just go through the homepage. But um, you know, uh, and I want to say I would love to hear, if you want to share how the music's impacted you. I see, I have like access to metrics, and I see things like people listening to it in places that I would never expect. And I I it really was encouraging for me to see that. I know it's all happening silently, in a sense, but if you have the courage and you want to share how it's impacting you, I would love to hear that. It would be just even more of an encouragement to me. I got my first two comments on an audiobook. One was a personal friend of mine who asked me to do Plotinus, uh, and he just hearted it. As he should, and because it's not it costs me money to make them, but I love the guy, and I want to do that for him. And yeah, if you have recommendations on books, just send them to me. I'll try to see if I can fit them in. And then the other uh, yeah, I got another comment from somebody who was commenting on the translation that they enjoyed it. They had some good thoughts about AI and the use of translations, and so that was really cool. And so I'd love to hear more from you guys. If you want to share with me how it's impacting you. So, again, the last part is Augustinus Vox is a restless heart project, and I explained that a little bit earlier. I was a single individual, really coming from a long chain of people, but my name is Kyle, and thank you for checking out the band and the website. Love, peace, and rock on. And then we link to the Restless Heart song itself, which popped out during the creation of the Soliloquies album. And if you haven't read Soliloquies, it is great. It is an excellent work. It's more of like a introspective journey that Augustine takes. whereas some of his early dialogues are more like him and his buddies and his mom having a conversation. There's some humor in there at times, but they're having like a dialogue discussing like topics of philosophy. And but soliloquies is very different, and it reads to me, at least the portions I've read so far, reads to me a lot more like confessions. Seems like an early confessions, and I really enjoyed it. And so I have this song here. I especially like that we had a Restless Heart song. It kind of came early, and it's very good. And if I play it here, um, but I don't know that it would capture the actually what's coming through my speakers. But you know, maybe we can try to do this because like I said, this is stream of consciousness, and I'm just kind of working over here. I got my. This is gonna be crazy if I bring this over here. Now you can see what I'm doing. Wow, you can actually see the guy working as he's. Well, he's not really working. He's using AI. I mean, come on. I mean, how much work is he really putting into this? So let's see if we can maybe like get the audio output capture. Oh my gosh, we can do this. This is fantastic. Oh wow, okay, cool. So I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna pull this back now. Now you've seen how the magic happens. I'm gonna pull this away from the screen. For those of you that are listening and not viewing the video, that has got to sound really strange. And so we're going to click on this button. I'm gonna. Oh man.
I've chased the shadows, I've chased the flame. Every promise fades away. I've held to power, I've held to pride. Still the hunger burns inside. Every path I've tried leaves an empty side. Restless heart, you won't be still till you find the one, the higher will. Restless heart, you can't let go till you rest in the love you're made to know. I've asked the night, I've asked the day, but no answer seems to stay. I've heard the noise, I've heard the lies, but only truth will satisfy. Every dream I've known points me back to home. Restless heart, you won't be still till you find the one, the higher will. Restless heart.
go. That was the song "Restless Heart." So you got a speech and you got a little song, and the thought that I had when I was playing that was, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of those times at church when they do like we're gonna have like a moment of silence, and it's slightly longer than everybody expects, and you start getting a little uncomfortable. Um, it's funny how when you're listening to a song and you're waiting for something, it's a little different. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I have no idea if I'm going to publish this, but if I do, you'll see it and then you'll laugh. So, um, but this is the first test, and I think it went well. So I'm gonna check it out.